Go ahead, CJ, kick us off. We've been waiting almost 2 years to say this. CJ Lewandowski, show us your axe.
Yeah, man, this is my 1923 Gibson F-5. It's signed by Lloyd Loar on July 9th, 1923. So it's the same date and same batch as the great Bill Monroe F-5 that we all know and love. This is actually Bill's is 73987. That's the serial number of Bill Monroe's in the Country Music Hall of Fame. And this one is 73989. This is the closest that is out in public. There's another one that's just as close, but in a museum in Chicago. But this is the closest one out in its natural habitat.
How many are still in circulation being played?
Well, there's 258 of them documented. There's probably, I don't know, on the professional circuit, there's probably 30, 35, something like that. But you know, there's guys that's got them, and they come to jam sessions. You never know. Like they've been popping out of the woodwork now that I carry this one on the road all the time. They just show up at festivals and say, "Hey, you want to see mine?" So there's a lot of them out there.
Now, aside from it being what Bill played, what makes the Lloyd Loar so special?
I think this is the original. This is like looking at a Van Gogh painting and then having a print of a Van Gogh painting. This is a real deal. It's like having an actual Rembrandt. This is the F5 did not exist until 1922. After Lloyd Loar and the Gibson Company got together and created that. So the modern mandolin today, everything is copied in some way, shape, or fashion to resemble this framework. So 1922, 23, and all the way to the end of 24 were the original F5s. So this is an original, and I think that's what makes them so special. Obviously, Bill Monroe made that Lloyd Loar signature and the July 9 date, and the F5 famous. If he would have played an Epiphone, we would all be playing Epiphones right now. But that's what made these famous, and they are really like the Stradivarius of the mandolin world, and they do something, man. It's 101 years of age that you just can't duplicate, and this one was played a lot, and there's some that are in pristine condition.
And tell us a little bit about that. You mentioned Stradivarius, and so there's the European transition here.
Yeah.
Tell folks where you found this, how you got it.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a story.
I found this on Facebook, believe it or not, and it had been for sale on a vintage Gibson mandolin page, and I'm a member of that. It had been for sale for about 2 years previous. It was posted once, and it was posted for $85,000, and the pictures were crazy. The translation on Facebook from Greek to English was funky. So no one had ever seen this mandolin in the vintage instrument world before. So everyone thought it was a scam.
And how did it end up in Greece?
Well, this mandolin here was originally bought by a guy named Ian Kowalski, and he worked for Lyon and Healy, the instrument company in Chicago. So this mandolin was ordered and shipped to Chicago, and then in the 1931 census, the U.S. Census, Ian was not, he was no more in, I'm sorry, Jan Kowalski, not Ian, but Jan was no longer in Chicago. And so we believe that he went back to probably Poland at that point. And then from there, I believe the Nazi regime, invaded in 1935, and I think his family fled. And the characteristics of the original case, it sat in water for a number of years. Like the case just sat in a touch of water just to wick up the sides of the case. And so I think they hid this mandolin. So this mandolin survived World War II in Europe. and I found it in Greece, like you said. It was on Facebook for sale. After 2 years, I finally talked to the guy, and I flew to Athens, Greece, to authenticate it. In the end of November 2021, in the middle of the pandemic, and flew over there. The U.S. government was on my tail, saying, "You might not be able to make it back home. Greece is in a red zone for COVID." And I said, "I don't care. I'm going for a Loar." So I did, and I bought it from a guy whose grandfather had owned it for about 30 years, and he'd been gone for about 20 years. So we know the first little bit of history with it, and then we know the last bit of history with it. There's just a little bit of gray area in between. But I think Jan Kowalski fled to probably Greece when the Nazi regime entered Poland, and he took this mandolin with him. So,
Well, the next band's already starting,
yeah,
so if you'll play us out of here, and thank you very much, man.
Yep, good
Appreciate
to see
it. We're gonna get a close look.
Good to see you.
CJ, thank you, man.
Yeah, man.